What Trump is proposing is a blatant war crime and arguably a crime against humanity. Article 49 of the Fourth Geneva Convention of 1949, which Israel, the United States, and basically everybody else has ratified, so this is international law, prohibits forcing people in occupied territory to leave. Exactly what Trump is proposing. What Trump is doing here is, in a sense, endorsing the far-right Israeli view for how to solve the Palestinian problem. Just get rid of the Palestinians. The obvious solution here would be a Palestinian state living side by side with an Israeli state. But the far right has always had a fourth option in mind: get rid of the Palestinians. And suddenly, that's what Trump is endorsing. That's what Trump is legitimizing, even though this would be a blatant war crime. Ethnic cleansing is a descriptive term. It's not a legal term, but this would be ethnic cleansing. The legal term would be forced deportation, forced expulsion, which is a blatant war crime, a violation of Article 49 of the Fourth Geneva Convention. Now, Trump tries to dress this up as a benevolent humanitarian purpose. He rightfully notes that Gaza has been decimated, but that's because of Israel's indiscriminate and disproportionate bombardment, which was often a war crime. The solution to one war crime is not another war crime. And whatever you do to dress it up in humanitarian terms, it really is up to the Palestinians. And it's quite clear that they don't want to forever leave their homeland. They call what happened in 1948, when the people who were forced out and never allowed to return, they call that the Nakba, the catastrophe. And Palestinians clearly would look at an additional effort to, permanently expel 2 million of them from their homeland as another Nakba. This is not something that they're embracing. Well, the idea of forced displacement of Palestinians has been on the agenda in Israel for ages. This is the far-right agenda, but it was anathema. Everybody understood it was a war crime. Nobody mainstream endorsed it. And suddenly Trump comes in and tries to legitimize it. Now, just because the US president with all his power says he likes this idea doesn't make it any more legal. It is still a war crime. And indeed, Trump would open himself up to the charge of aiding and abetting war crimes if he were to play a big role in this forced displacement. In other situations, when war is used for the purpose of displacing people, say what the Myanmar junta did to force some 700,000 Rohingya Muslims out of Myanmar, or what Serbian forces did in Bosnia to forcibly expel Muslims. This is understood as a war crime. In the case of Myanmar, it was understood as genocide. Suddenly, Trump is proposing the exact same thing for Gaza. That doesn't make it the least bit legal. One thing Trump has to ask is, he wants to make a deal here, but this proposal is actually undermining possible deals. Hamas is not going to agree to continue releasing hostages if they know that the end of the line is going to be mass forced deportation. Saudi Arabia is not going to normalize relations with Israel if they've seen the entire Palestinian state decimated by sending all the Palestinians abroad. So Trump's desire to be a master dealmaker is working at odds with this endorsement of the Israeli far-right proposal to solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.